requests, and then we'll go back to regular order, and I'll ask some questions, and Senator Capito has some more questions. We've been rejoined by Senator Whitehouse. Thank you for coming back, Sheldon. Before I start the second round, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to place in the record a document that shows that the United States per capita emissions are double that of China, without objection. And a second unanimous consent request. Into the record, it's a letter of support for Mr. Goffman's nomination. And I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a letter of support for Mr. Goffman's nomination from the Renewable Fuels Association and the U.S. Ethanol Industries Trade Association. And I don't know that any one of Senator Ernst's staff is still here, but they might share that with her if they are. And another question that I would have is while EPA was working on the mercury and air toxics rules, or we call the MATS rule, I seem to remember some of my colleagues holding up a poster talking about a train wreck. And it was a train wreck that would happen if EPA were ever to finalize that rule. The train wreck alluded to concern that if the mercury and air toxics rule were made final, it would have a role. We would end up with having rolling brownouts and blackouts, and electricity prices would be astronomical. You may remember that too. My question: blackouts or brownouts didn't happen due to the mercury and air toxics rule. Is that correct? Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. Didn't every utility in the country meet the standards on time and under budget, and energy prices went down, not up?
Yes.
I thought so. And aren't the same utility groups that fought you then endorsing you today?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, one of the things that we did when we were putting the mercury and air toxic standards together is consult extensively with the utilities, with the states, with the utility regulators, and with the independent system operators. And we took special care to make sure that the utilities could comply on time with the standards while ensuring reliability.
All right. How did the United Mine Workers end up supporting your nomination?
I cannot speak for them, but I believe that what they said in support of my nomination is that they found that I was willing to engage with them and take their views seriously and be candid and straightforward. And indeed, Senator Carper, as we discussed, for me, the essence of public service is identifying with the priorities, concerns, and needs of everybody that the U.S. government serves, and that means everybody. I don't know if that's what was reflected in the United Mine Workers support, but certainly from my side, that's what it looks like.
All right, thank you. One more question from me. This deals with the ambient, air quality monitoring and environmental justice. Ambient air quality monitoring is one of the best tools we have to identify high air pollution rates and protect public health. Monitoring is especially important in communities of color, which experience, as you know, air pollution at disproportionate rates. As you know, our air quality monitoring system is aging, is lacking in many communities, and is often unable to collect data on air toxics. That's why that's why we actually addressed it in the American Rescue Plan. And a number of us, including me, worked hard to ensure that there was funding available for EPA to conduct community air monitoring. My question: as Air Administrator in the Office of Air, how could you utilize monitoring funds provided to the EPA, both through annual appropriations and the American Rescue Plan, to address environmental justice and achieve equity in pollution monitoring across populations?
Well, thank you for that question, Senator. There are a great many communities that are really struggling with almost an undue burden of poor air quality. And they themselves have come to recognize that having reliable air quality monitoring is critical to their understanding what they're experiencing and ultimately representing their own interests. The American Rescue Plan funding for air monitoring was not just a great benefit to EPA, but it was a great benefit to those communities. And Administrator Regan had the vision to make sure that the way we distributed that funding included a competitive grant program that was open directly to communities so that they could get the resources they need to do the kind of air quality that they understand to be important to advance their own interests in reducing their struggle with bad air quality.
Thank you for that. We've been joined by Senator Markey. Senator Markey, welcome. I'll stop my questions right there and turn to you, and then back, I think, to Senator Capito and Senator Whitehouse. Senator Markey.